Hi there, this is Prashanth Udupa. I welcome you to this video on VTK Designer 2. This is my second video on VTK Designer 2, and in this video I'm going to show you an example of terrain visualization done using VTK Designer 2. What we're going to do is to load this texture image and paste it on a grid, and then make use of VTK Designer scripting capability to alter the Z values of every point on the grid corresponding to its point on the texture. So I have created a pipeline here. What is basically happening here is we use a grid, and then we put a normals filter, an actor render window, and then we paste the texture onto the grid, and this is what we see, a fairly decent grid. Now when I view this in wireframe model I can actually see the grid points here. What we want to be able to do is to alter the grid points so that at every grid point we have some kind of white value, right? So that should be used to alter the Z value of the grid point so that a meaningful terrain can be constructed. So to do that, what I do is I go to grid and I click or double click on the on request data, and I get this function. In this function I'm going to write a script that gets that actually alters the Z values of each and every point on the grid. So here we go. So now we loop through all the grid points. So now we have the color of the image at that particular point and what we're going to do now is we're going to convert this into a Z value. So what I'm doing is I'm dividing the color by 25600, dividing it by 256 because I want to bring the color value in the range of 0 to 1, and then by an additional 100 because I want to bring the Z value proportional to the dimensions of the grid itself. So now since we have the Z value, I'm going to say point is equal to grid dot point at index point dot Z is equal to Z, grid dot set point index point, and we move the index further. So after these two for loops return, the grid should have been modified to become a terrain grid itself. So I'm going to execute this script, and I go to VTK output and I see that the grid is still not formed, it's still a plane. So what I do here is I go to the grid and I ask it to forcefully update itself, and you'll notice that the grid has now been altered to become a terrain, but the resolution of the terrain isn't high enough for us to see a good quality terrain. So what I'm going to do here is go back to the script again and modify this to say let's make use of a 64 by 64 grid. Right, so I'm going to execute this grid again, this script again, and now you can notice that the terrain is a little more meaningful. So this way you can create meaningful terrain visualizations using VTK Designer, and you would have noticed that it is so simple to do this using VTK Designer. So in my next video, I'm going to show you how you can add additional user interface to VTK Designer 2 to additional custom user interface to VTK Designer, so that you gain better control over your visualization. So until my next video, bye bye.